if we go back to our daily lives back in club and carry on the season and nothing's changed for these girls to get involved, then we'll feel a little bit like we haven't succeeded in not only what we want to do but the legacy we want to leave. So I think that, yeah, it's important that we can use our voices as role models now and get it out there.
Football came home on Sunday. Now, after England's Lionesses win a historic first tournament at Wembley, the focus is on how to turn the victory into a legacy for the women's game. As a first step, England's showpiece friendly against World Cup winners the USA in October has already sold out. One of those who'll hope to play is one of England's new heroes, the Manchester United striker Alessia Russo, and she joins us in the studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Congratulations, first of all. How do you feel? Have you got over? How big was the party?
Yeah, the celebrations were great. We went back to the hotel and had all our friends and family there, so that was really nice. And everyone was on the dance floor all night, having a good time. So, yeah, it was a crazy summer, but one that we'll remember for the rest of our lives.
How bad did you feel the next morning when you had to go off and do all the celebrations in Trafalgar Square?
There were definitely a few sore heads, and it was boiling on that stage. Like, it was 30 degrees, so everyone was up there singing and dancing, like still trying to rally, but so hot on that little. It was like a greenhouse.
Were you starting to flag that? I can imagine that. Now, do you still think about the back heel?
I don't, but a lot of people still do. Yeah, yeah. It was just an instinctive shot, and I was very lucky that it actually went in. Else I would have got shouted at.
What, for showboating, do you think?
Yeah, for just trying something silly.
Did you feel calm? It's an interesting point, that, because one of the things that struck a lot of us watching throughout the tournament was you did feel like you had played a lot of freedom, and we've seen teams, English teams particularly, when they're playing at home, lots of expectation. By that point, people thought you should win. How did you keep feeling a sense of freedom?
I think Serena, the manager, was brilliant with that. As important as the tactics was, of course, we were all encouraged to just play our football. We were there for a reason, and I think that we all believed in each other as well in the squad. So we knew everyone was good enough to be out there and play and win. So everyone kind of felt a little bit relaxed when we were on the pitch, which was nice.
And how much do you think about the history at all? You know, in the changing room before the game when you're playing, because these are big things you're playing for. You know, you're not only just playing to win a tournament, which is amazing in itself. You're, in some senses, playing for the country. You're playing for the whole women's game and how it can grow. Did that cross your mind before, during, after?
I think after, like now, when you're in the camp, it's very much like focused on the game and how you can win and tactics and training and all the little pieces of it. But when you kind of get out of it and you take a step back, I think for us as players, the biggest thing that we need to do is try and like make the game better now for females and for young girls, because if we don't get more young girls playing and get them have availability at schools and at clubs, then we've not really done our job.
And what was it like for you growing up? Was it easy for you to play football, get games?
Yeah, it was, in the sense that luckily through my school they wanted me to play and encouraged it, but at the same time, most of my early memories of football was with a boys' team.
And did that matter to you at the time? Did you think, why am I playing with boys? Or was that a good thing? I mean, did it something that just felt like normal?
Yeah, it did feel like normal, but it would have been nice to have more access to girls' teams, and I hope that we can change that. But again, it was good to play with boys as well, because they're bigger and stronger by nature, so you get to test yourself at a young age, which is good, but it shouldn't have to be like that, because a lot of girls might not want to get involved in football if it means they're going to have to be in a boys' team.
Did you get grief playing with boys? Did they say anything to you?
Not necessarily from my team, but a lot of the time from the other teams, they'd just like laugh, maybe having a girl on the team.
Did you then stick it to them though, because you were better than them?
Yeah, then we'd win.
Yeah, that's the best answer to that. So you guys have written a letter to Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss. Are you happy to do this political stuff? Because, you know, you're footballers, you've won a game, you've got to go back to playing football for Man United. Are you happy being on the political field a little bit?
Yeah, like I said, I think that we as role models and as like winners of the Euros now, we've got to think of what's next. And if we come out of this tournament after, hopefully we've inspired a lot of young girls and boys out there to carry on playing football. But if we go back to our daily lives back in club and carry on the season and nothing's changed for these girls to get involved, then we'll feel a little bit like we haven't succeeded in not only what we want to do, but the legacy we want to leave. So I think that, yeah, it's important that we can use our voices as role models now and get it out there.
Do you want to be invited to Downing Street to celebrate? Does that matter to you at all? There's some talk about you should have already been invited to Downing Street as a team and you haven't been. Do you care about that?
Yeah, I did hear something about that. I mean, it is what it is. I think for us, like, our main focus now is to try and make it better for the young girls.
You're not bothered about that. And before you go, my favourite bit of the final was you reading the German tactical note. Unsettling. What happened there? What did you see? I can't believe they passed. Is that common? I'm not sure I've seen that before. Do you often get notes passed out in football pitches?
I think sometimes, because it was the late stages of a game and they brought a sub on, they could do it. But everyone keeps asking me if I can read German, but it was actually just like some tactical information. I can't remember what it was, and in the moment I wasn't really paying attention. I was just having a little nosy.
Did the German woman say anything to you? Did you get nudged
No,
away?
I don't know if she saw me. I was quite close to her shoulder, so I'd be surprised if she didn't, but she didn't say anything.
Just finally then, before you go, you're going to go back to Man United. You talk about the girls' game needs to change. Does the attention on the professional women's game outside of it, because England now, the England team is going to be rightly fated forever. The Wembley match is going to be great. You know, you get crowds at the international level.
Yeah.
Do you need to see something at the level, one level below the Premier League level, the Super League level?
Yeah, for sure. That's another thing from this. We want fans to come to our games more and more and keep building and investing in the women's game. I think this tournament shows how amazing it can be. And yeah, we just want more people in stadiums, in club level, and hopefully this tournament's done that.
And could you believe you'd be having these conversations 3 weeks ago? Did you always think this was going to happen?
I mean, I always believed that we had a squad good enough to go out there and win. And yeah, the training, the staff, everything about the group was really special. So hoped and luckily we came through.
Well, listen, you've cheered an awful lot of people up in this country at a time when there's not always a lot to cheer about. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for talking to us today.
No worries, thank you.
That's Alessia Russo, the golden heel herself. She's bored of talking about it, but everyone will still be bothering about it, I think, for the rest of her life. You never have to buy a drink again, and you'll never have to avoid talking about your heel again, I suspect.